How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball. Welcome back to some more content for you guys today. And seeing as it is the big clash between Man City and Liverpool at Anfield this weekend, we thought we would go and have a deeper look into the title race and see who we think is going to come out on top by the end of it. So how are you looking at it so far?
Yeah, I think we're in for our closest title race in many, many years, isn't it? 3-horse race. When was the last time there were three teams?
For three teams, yeah. I mean, Man City and Liverpool have run each other close before.
And obviously Arsenal and City-ish last season.
Yeah, Arsenal were out of it
Nothing like a City
much.
and Liverpool race,
Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, we've had title races come down to the last day of the season before, but I don't think we've ever been at this stage of a season and three teams have been so close to each other.
Yeah, I can't remember I think the last time that happened was probably back in like maybe the late 2000s when I remember Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United were running things close. But to have three teams so close together like this is really, really exciting. It's great for the Premier League and I'm all for it. But in terms of how each team is shaping up, each team is like got a very good case to say they're going to be the ones who are going to last the distance. I think Liverpool have been maybe a surprise package in terms of actually being this, being basically top of the league going into March and 27 games in. A lot of people didn't expect them to actually, be involved in a real title race, maybe battle for top four, but they've literally been there since the start of the season, right up there, and
only lost one game all season.
Two now. Arsenal's and the Spurs game, they really didn't deserve to lose that. They've also suffered injuries recently and still keep getting the wins. And now those injuries are coming back, so they've got a good case for it. Man City, second half FC. We know how good they've been every year.
Man City,
and it's Man City, and I think their form since the turn of the year has been unbelievable. They've been swatting everyone aside. And then Arsenal, as of the time of recording, are currently the form team in the Premier League. I think, 25 goals or something in the last 3 or 4 games. They seem to be winning every game 5 or 6-0 at the moment. And as well, they've got that experience of bottling it last season, and maybe they've learned from that as well.
And the year before. But with Arsenal, it was a crazy one because before that break when they went to Dubai, the narrative around Arsenal was, they're not in the title race. They're not scoring enough goals. And now they've scored the most goals in the Premier League. Yeah,
it's amazing what a few big wins can do. Obviously, 6-0 against Sheffield United, 5-0 against Burnley, 6-0 West Ham, 5-0 Palace.
4-1 Newcastle.
4-1 Newcastle. So they're really scoring goals for fun at the moment. And that's even without Jesus as well, who hasn't played his part in too many of those games. So they are now the freest scoring team in the Premier League at the time of recording, and they've really shown their title credentials, I think they would argue, in the last few weeks when, as you say, going into that break in Dubai, they're off the back of, I think, 3 defeats in all competitions consecutively, 2 defeats in a row in the Premier League.
Losing to West Ham and Fulham and teams like that.
And there were a lot of question marks. The football wasn't as fluid as it was last season. But now, over the last 6 or 7 games, they've really blown everyone away and shown them that they're not only they can still be in this title race. So that is very good for them, and I think they'll be definitely feeling they've got a big chance.
Absolutely. And I think that you're looking at the games this weekend. Obviously, it's going to hinge massively, I think, on the title race, Man City against Liverpool. But I think let's go and have a look at the 3 teams. I think 12 games to go. So Liverpool obviously got Man City at home this weekend. Then they got Brighton, Sheffield United all at home, United away, Palace at home, Fulham away, West Ham away, Tottenham at home, Villa away, Wolves at home and Everton away. In terms of that, they do have some tough fixtures in there. Obviously, Man City at home is tough. Man United away, as much as, Man United aren't great this season, they're going to want to put a stop to Liverpool's party, aren't they? And going away to Old Trafford. West Ham away, I think West Ham have slightly turned a corner recently. Maybe that will be a bit more difficult than maybe what it was a couple of weeks ago. But you still envisage Liverpool to get over the line in those games, don't you? Tottenham at home, historically, Tottenham do get very unlucky at Anfield, so you probably expect Liverpool to get 3 points in that game. Villa away, they're not really the team at home that they've been for the first half of the season, so you do expect, I'm looking at those games for Liverpool and I can't tell you where they're going to drop points apart from Man City at home potentially. I look at those games and think they could win all of them.
With the form they're in, I wouldn't be surprised. I think obviously Villa away is a really tough game. Despite their form, you don't want to go there needing to win. That's never a good position.
But at that stage of the season, with Liverpool having all their players back, I expect them to win it.
Depends. Maybe
it's not given, obviously.
If Villa are out of Europe and maybe they're going for top 4, there's no guarantees. We saw how what they've done to big teams this year at home. Obviously, Everton away, you can, if they're involved in a relegation battle, and they would love nothing more than to poop.
Is that their last game of the season?
No,
Everton
it's to be confirmed. So all three teams have a game.
I was thinking, wow, that's going to be a ferocious game. It was a Merseyside derby last game of the season.
Probably be within where West Ham, Tottenham, Villa, somewhere in there. I think that's probably where. It'll probably be within where like Fulham, West Ham, Spurs around that time. That's where Everton away is. You can never look. Everton love to turn up against Liverpool at Goodison, not necessarily win, but they have got a few 0-0s recently, a few really good defensive displays, and I wouldn't be surprised if Everton are battling for every point. They do grab a draw out of that game. But yeah, other than that, I think they do have fairly favourable fixtures if they can get through this Man City game on the weekend with a victory, or at least not a loss, and stay ahead of Man City. I think their fixtures are looking favourable, to be honest. The only tricky thing is their away games, as you say, like Everton away, Man United away. On paper, maybe you expect them to win those games, but it's those kind of games which are tricky where the opposition just have that extra motivation.
Yeah, exactly. I would have thought maybe Man United away might have been a bit more tricky if it was in the last few games of the season, because Man United will have that even extra motivation when it's near the deadline of the season to stop Liverpool's party. But now, because it is only in a few weeks, I do think Liverpool win that game, to be honest. And if you look at Man City's fixtures, I mean, for me, if Man City get through these next 2 games, top of the league or without a defeat, I mean, 4 points. If they get through it with 4 points, I can't see them dropping points in maybe Tottenham away, but that's about it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think Brighton away on their day, you never quite know. But again, they're probably going to have Europe, and they're not as good as they were last year. Although they haven't lost too many games at home, but you still expect City to go and win that game. Obviously, Spurs are their bogey team, aren't they? Especially at the Tottenham Stadium. I know they beat us in the Cup, but it wasn't in the league. So that's a game they'll potentially earmark as potentially drop points. But I agree. If they get through Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, and Villa at home, if they're top by at the end of those 3 games, you might as well give them the league. I think there's no chance they're giving it away. If they're not top, though, I mean, they still got a really good opportunity to put pressure on the teams above them with those set of fixtures they have after that game. Yeah. So that is looking just based on that. That's why you still got to put City favourites. But let's say they do drop points in all 3 games.
Then it's wide open.
Then do they give themselves too much to do? That's the question.
Potentially.
Mark.
It depends, obviously, what the other teams do. But you're looking at Arsenal's fixtures. If Arsenal can go to the Etihad and win, then I might even put them as favourites for the title. They obviously got Villa at home, which will be a tough game. Tottenham away and Man United away. And historically, maybe not last season, but historically, Tottenham away and Man United away are very difficult games for them. In the last 10 years, how many games have they won in those stadiums? Not very many. So, but this season's a different kettle of fish. It really is. And I would love, obviously, to put a stop to Arsenal's party at that game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but it's going to be so difficult. Tottenham are going to have a massive say in this title race. Obviously, we play City, Liverpool, and Arsenal all in a row. It's going to be crazy. A mad stretch of results. But I do genuinely believe if Arsenal can take 3 points at the Etihad, that puts them in a really strong position.
It does if they win that game. But I'm looking at their away fixtures. City away, Brighton away, Wolves away, and Man United away. There's not too many easy ones there. I mean, I look at those and there's potential there in all those games they could drop points.
There is potential, but with the form that they're showing at the moment, you do expect them to get by in them.
Yeah, the form now, but form changes very, very quickly in the Premier League.
And that's why I said they peaked too early.
One dodgy result, and who knows? And
I agree.
I think Brighton away, I think they'll fancy their chance there. But Wolves away, that can be a very difficult game, especially if Cunha is back then and if Neto's back then as well. And as I say, Man United away and Spurs away, 2 grounds they traditionally don't do very well in. And obviously Spurs are going to have that extra motivation, not just to ruin Arsenal's title challenge, but they're going to be going for top four as well,
Yeah.
hopefully, by that stage. Well, but what I would say is in their favour is the home games do look fairly kind. Brentford, Luton, Villa at home, Bournemouth, Everton, Chelsea. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to win every of those home games.
I think they do win every of those home games, but I'm looking at all of the teams' home games, and I think bar, well, Liverpool got City, Man City got Arsenal. So apart from those two games, I think every home game is going to be won pretty much. And I even think those ones will probably be won too. Maybe Liverpool get a draw, Liverpool, Man City draw. But apart from that, I do think every other home game will be won.
If I'm assessing who has the most difficult home games, I reckon Arsenal probably have the easiest. Then probably City and then Liverpool. But I probably put Arsenal as the most difficult away games, I would say.
I think as a stretch of fixtures, Arsenal have the most difficult fixtures.
Because I think you'd rather have the easier games at home, obviously. So having difficult away games at this stage, I think that's probably still puts them, even though they're in great form, as third favourites. And then I just can't look beyond if City get through these games and looking at that run-in and how they can just blitz all those teams.
Things can obviously massively change after we talk about this because these games are coming up thick and fast now. But as of time of recording, I think City are still favourites for this title. I do think they're going to get through these run of games. I think that when you're looking at them play, maybe even when they don't put in their strongest performance, they seem to be dominating games, winning games. Yes, Liverpool also are doing the same. They're also dominating and winning games, but I just feel like Man City are the stronger of the two, to be honest.
And in terms of like how each team finishes, like let's say the last two games for each team, Liverpool finished season away at Villa, home to Wolves. Man City at home to Wolves and away at Fulham, at home to West Ham, and Arsenal away at Man United, at home to Everton. So again, Man City probably, if they're still 1 or 2 points behind going to the last couple games, they might even still have a chance even at that point to claw it back given the fixtures.
Yeah, Fulham away and West Ham away. You've got to say that's probably 6 points for Man City.
Villa away, Wolves at home.
You can't say 100% anything. You can't say 100% anything with those games. So in terms of the fixture list, Man City have the most favourable run in. Man City have the history behind them as well, winning the title 3 years in a row. But history books are there to be rewritten, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to say, I think if Man City avoid defeat on Sunday, then they go to big favourites in my book. But if Liverpool win that, then I think, I think it tips in their favour slightly.
I wouldn't want to say that until after the Arsenal game at the Etihad. I think once that game gets played, I think things will become a lot more clearer. But if Arsenal win that game, things won't become that clear because it could be anyone's if Arsenal win that.
But interesting teams, Liverpool, if City lose the next two, then I'll be very interested to see where that puts everyone and how they react to that. If
Arsenal win at the Etihad and Man City draw with Liverpool this weekend, does that put Arsenal favourites?
Does that put Arsenal favourites from the run-in? I mean, how many points would they be ahead? Obviously, let's say Liverpool beat Brighton, so then that means there would be, if they beat Brentford and so you're saying they win their next two? That puts them on an extra.
They win their next two. Man City get one in their next two, and Liverpool get four.
So they would still be behind. They would still be behind Liverpool. No, they'd
be above
on goal difference.
Yeah,
they'll be above Liverpool on goal difference, and you're saying there'd be 3 ahead of Man City. I don't know if that's enough yet to put them as favourites, considering I think they've got the toughest run in. After that,
who would be favourites? Would it be Liverpool, or would City still be favourites? Goal difference could massively become a part of it this year. How tight it is.
Yeah, I would say I'd still put City as favourites because they could easily win all the other games, and I don't know if the other two could.
So who's going to win the league? City?
Man City.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think so as well. But, in 2 weeks' time, we could be sitting here saying something completely different, even though you are saying if those set of fixtures do happen and Arsenal win at the Etihad, that Man City are still favourites in this title race, which is mad to say.
Yeah, and that's how strong they are. And as well, I think they've just got a very good fixture list. So I think that could really play into their favour.
And it's like all these teams are getting all their players back. It's no teams are going into this at this moment in time with a depleted squad. Everyone's going to have their pretty much full squad going into it.
Still in Europe as well. Well, for now, Arsenal might not be next week, but we'll see.
If Man City go and win the treble this season again, back-to-back trebles, does that say Pep Guardiola the best Premier League manager of all time?
Has to. No one's ever done that.
Yeah, better than Fergie.
I think so.
Wow,
I think so. Back-to-back trebles, you can't say anything back to that.
And what if Klopp wins quad this year? Europa League, Premier League, FA Cup.
I think.
Where does that put Klopp in the Premier League managers of all time?
If he wins the quad, I think he's already like top 5 probably. Maybe he goes into the top 3. Him, Fergie, and Klopp. Fergie, and Pep. I mean,
but how amazing is it? Like, I know Spurs have got nothing to do with anything, but you're looking at Guardiola and Klopp being like the two of the 3 best managers in the Premier League generation ever, and we're watching it play out in front of our eyes year in, year out.
Yeah, so we're privileged. It's going to be ending next season when Klopp leaves.
It will be. Do you not reckon there's a slight bit in Klopp being like, if he wins the league, if he goes and does a mad one this season, saying, "I'm not going nowhere."
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Because like if Xabi Alonso goes to Bayern Munich at the end of this season, like where do Liverpool turn after Klopp?
It's a good question. I don't know if they thought about it yet.
Because I don't know. Like, I think the only manager that can come in and have a continuity that Klopp has brought Liverpool is Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
I don't know any other manager that can come in and maybe pick up the pieces and carry this on.
Because he has that connection with the fans as well already, and obviously he's doing an unbelievable job at Leverkusen. So they have to cross that bridge when they get to
Stevie G?
No chance. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
All right, well, that is our take in the title race. We're both in agreement that Man City are the favourites still and will win the title. Let me know your thoughts in the title race in the comment section below. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.